Hello, and welcome to another edition of All or Not According to Jack with your host, Jack Toledano. So it is week two of the NFL, or actually, it's almost complete. As we speak, it is the Monday night game, and surprisingly, the Falcons are neck and neck with the Eagles, 18-15. And Barkley, let's see how Barkley's doing. Box score. Saquon Barkley, 16 rushes, 77 yards. Uh, no rushing TDs. Let's see, did he three three receptions, 17 yards, but okay. More normal game. So I think you know where I'm going with this, talking about Saquon Barkley in week two in a new uniform, meaning those Eagles. So speaking of my Giants, so before we get into how they did this week, last Thursday night was lodge night for me, and what first of all, what sucks is you can't watch the freaking Thursday night game at the lodge anymore because it's not on television, it's on Apple TV, or which one was it? I don't know if it was Apple TV or Amazon Prime TV. Yeah, come on, that's garbage. I can't watch the game with my buddies. I got to leave the meeting early to go home and watch. That's not cool. But any event, so my one brother, who good friend of mine, I call him Uncle Vinny because there are multiple Vinnies in the lodge. We were talking about the year 1975 when not one, not two, four teams played at Chase Stadium that year. Uh, so in baseball, it was the Mets and the Yankees. Football, it wasn't just the Jets, it was also the Giants. And I told him I had a book that talked about it. And this is that book. I just remembered I had it. When Shea Was Home. The story of the 1975 Mets, Yankees, Giants, and Jets. Pretty cool book. I mean, it was a pretty easy read. How many pages are in this book? There aren't even that many. It's wow, only 150 pages? Jeez. 160 pages. Damn. Wow. In any event, that year, my friend Uncle Vin actually went to, and it was a 14 game season back in those days. So seven home games, seven road games. So he ended up going to six home games. The only game he couldn't get was the Giants Cowboys, because of course, even then they were America's team, and those games sold out. But all the other six games, a lot of people dumped their tickets. Right where they moved. It was the year before they moved to Giant Stadium, and so he was able to buy six of those games. And poor guy, they only won one freaking home game that year, and it wasn't against the Cowboys. Too funny. Years later, there would be a ticket dump once again. The last year they were playing at Giants Stadium before they moved into the new MetLife Stadium. Uh, Giants organization came up with this bright idea. Let's have this thing called PSLs, personal seat licenses, where we're going to bang you a one. Not only are we going to charge you for every ticket that you buy, plus two or three preseason games that you have to buy. But we're also going to charge you with a one-time uh, fee called a personal seat license. So if you had seats in the upper bowl, it was like what, $1 or $2,000. But where they offered them to me, there was like more like $5,000, $10,000. But me, I did not want to sit behind the end zone and pay $5,000 a seat. So I said, thank you very much. Bye bye. Um, so there went their waiting list. Um, but I was able to, because of the ticket dump, I was able to get. It was the only time I was ever to take my family of four to a Giant game. It was the Giants against the San Diego Chargers, and it was a good game. The Giants lost, but they lost by a respectable score of was it 21-19 or 21-20? It was back in the days of Eli Manning, and Kevin Boss scored the touchdown for the Giants that day, if I remember. Um, yeah, so it was Susan and I, Sam and Jason went to this game. It was a lot of fun. Uh, you know, may never be able to do it again, but at least we got to say we did it once. But anyway, that's enough of going down memory lane. Let's talk about this week. So it is week 2. The Giants played a little bit better, but they lost again. The dubious honor that they have for this week, they set a new record. This was the first time that they ever scored 3 touchdowns, did not get a point after. So get this, Graham Gano, their kicker, who had, mind you, he had a bad hamstring, and they actually had him on the roster for Sunday's game. I mean, are you an effing idiot, Dable, not carrying another kicker? What were you thinking, man? So he, get this, on the opening play of the freaking game, Giants kickoff to the Commanders. They bring it all the way down the field. What looked like would have been a kickoff return, but they were called back due to a hold. But Gano was the last. The kicker's usually the last line of defense on a kickoff. So what does he do? He tears his hamstring worse. So now he can't play the whole fucking game. So what do? They try their punter on their first touchdown, misses it badly. So they decide for the rest of the game we're just going to do 2-point conversions. So you missed that first kickoff, then you go for the 2-point conversion. If you don't make that, you're chasing it the rest of the game. So 3 touchdowns, no conversions at all. They missed them all. What do the Commanders do? They didn't score any touchdowns. Instead, they scored 7 field goals. They win the game 21-18. So the Giants have the dubious distinction of being the first team ever to do that. Congratulations, guys. Last week people started a lynch mob against Daniel Jones. Well, I'll tell you, he wasn't as bad this week. You know what? I think he was only sacked once. Your offensive line protected you a little better, gave you a little more time to throw. Finally, Dable got it into that thick, bald skull of his to introduce some new plays. They had Neighbors on more crossing routes, and he caught more balls. He was 10 catches, 127 yards, 1 TD. So it was basically a really nice coming out party for their first round draft pick, Malik Neighbors. So very happy there. But unfortunately, because the game was so freaking close and your defense couldn't stop a heart attack, um, you you had to go for it on 4th down because you couldn't kick any field goals because you had no kicker. So was it what, 4th and 4 down in at what, the 28 or the 30 of the Commanders? So he throws a sideline pass to Neighbors, goes through his arms, out of bounds. So Giants turn it over on downs. Malik Neighbors looks glum on the bench for the rest of the game. Well, welcome to the big leagues, Rook. You had a very good game, but the catch that counted most, you dropped. So I hope you get more reps in practice and you learn from that mistake and you help us win a game. But no blame there. As for Devin Singletary, you actually had a slightly better game than Barkley this week. 16 rushes, 95 yards, 5.9 average, and a touchdown, a 7-yard touchdown run. So Who knows? Maybe against a lesser defense, you might do better, but you didn't do very well against the Vikings, but let's just hope that was a mirage and it gets better from there. But you know what? It's going to get tougher, guys. You're in Cleveland next week, and you know what? The Cleveland Browns, I think, are 0-2, so they're going to be hungry for a win next week. Uh, it's funny, I was actually there first week of April when I no of August when I went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and if you actually look out the window at the Hall of Fame, you can see the Dog Pound Stadium, Cleveland Stadium. Uh, would have been nice, but you know what? I'll watch it on the telly. So, anywho, let's look around the league here before we talk about another burning topic, football topic that I have. So let's go to scores. So my one knucklehead friend who's telling me that he still insists that football is fixed. So let's consider this. Um, you have the Dallas Cowboys, who are America's team. They call them. They call them that for a long time, and I'm watching the pregame warm-ups, leading up to the Giants Commanders game, and they're interviewing Dak Prescott, uh, Cowboys quarterback, before the game, and they're touting him as this great quarterback, and he's won the most games in the last few years. But you know what? If the game's fixed, why the fuck did they lose so bad to the Saints? 44-19, their home opener in Dallas. They got trounced by the New Orleans Saints. I was not expecting that. Uh, if it was fixed, the Detroit Lions, another America's team who has hosts football every year on Thanksgiving. They are spoiling to get to a Super Bowl for the longest time. How is it that they lost to a team at home to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 20-16? I was fully expecting it to be another coming out party for the Lions, but they blew it. Who else? Okay, the Jets, kudos. They beat the Titans 24-17 in the Titans building. So good on them. Uh, Vikings, I guess they are a good team. They hung that 28-6 loss on the Giants. They beat the Niners this week. Nice win, 23-17. Sam Darnold suddenly looks like a quarterback. Who knew? I mean, he couldn't get it done for the Jets, but I was telling George, with the right, how would you say, with the right personnel around him, looks like a quarterback. Who else? Browns beat the Jaguars. Oh, so that's good. So maybe the Giants are due for a win in Cleveland next week, but we'll see. Um, who else? Oh, okay. So this is the game we're talking about. Chiefs and the Bengals. That was our televised local 4 o'clock game here in the New York area. So they had actually both Jets and Giants in the 1 o'clock slots. Uh, Jets were on Fox. No, Giants were on Fox. Jets were on CBS. So the 4 o'clock game on CBS, Chiefs and the Bengals. That was the game of the week. Now I didn't watch because you know what? I figured I'd give my wife a break and give her the TV from in the 4 to 7 o'clock slot. Uh, Not to mention, you know what? I'm getting a little tired of the Chiefs. I mean, you know what? They're a great team and all the power to them, but I'm getting a little sick and tired of seeing Taylor Swift shown on camera every time that knucklehead Travis Kelce touches the ball. I mean, why? Why do I have to have her shoved down my throat? And the minute I mention it, oh, you're all the women, oh, you're a hater. Do you hate her because she's a successful woman? No, I hate her because I don't like her music. And Football is a man's game, and you want to know something? I just want to talk football. I don't want to talk her corny songs or corny breakup songs or bullshit like that. Uh, you know what? I just want to think about my fantasy metal, and I don't listen to metal during football. You know, there's a time and a place for everything. You know, my son Jason jokes about how cliche metal is, and and it's all about fantasy sword and sorcery crapola. Not true, Jay, but even I'm a football purist, and I won't listen to my metal music when football's on. I am into the game. I only want to know the game. I don't want to know Taylor Swift and who she broke up with this week, or who cheated on her, bull crap like that. But anyway, getting back to my friend, uh, he was pissed off because again the Chiefs edged out the Bengals 26-25. So this is our conversation this week. So I thought I put everything to rest last week with last week's episode, but apparently not. So this week he sends me an IM. Dude, burn your jerseys because it's fixed. Thank you and have a good day. Well, you know what? You opened up the conversation. I'm not just going to have a good day without responding now. So, so I gave him, a smiley, a laughing face with the tears and a clown face. What now? I guess my explanation wasn't good enough. You didn't really have an explanation. All you said was if sports is fixed, then I'm going to burn my jerseys, meaning me. Well, I can't give you a reason why it's fixed. But if that's the case, if it's so fixed and it offends you that much, why the fuck are you watching the game? Turn it off. Jets are only trailing 7-0. This was at the time. And you want to burn your jersey? And I'm the one that's delusional. So he finally gets back to me at 8:25. Funny thing is, if you watch the Chiefs and Bengals, you would totally think it's fixed. The league is in love with Patrick Mahomes, even though he's a piece of shit and his whole family are a piece of shit. The league will do whatever to have KC win. So you better start burning your jerseys because sports is fixed. WWE light strikes again. I didn't watch and I'm not burning my jersey. Why the fuck are you still watching? This is really becoming annoying, dude. I don't watch, Jack. It wouldn't be annoying if you would just admit that sports are fixed. Now, I didn't say this to him at the time, but I'm like, so what are you're fixated on me now? The whole idea is that you're trying to twist my arm behind my back for me to say that it's fixed. You have your beliefs and I have mine. I don't think the game is fixed, and I'll get into that after. Uh, but this is what I did say to him at the time. You just said you watched the Chiefs and Bengals. If you didn't watch, how do you think it's fixed? Are you clairvoyant? Because I saw a highlight. And why is there a point spread? So this is my answer. So because there is a point spread in your mind, the game is automatically fixed. I think it's time for you to go sleep off the ganja. Oh, and this was while I was watching the Texans and Bears. Oh, pass interference in the end zone in the Texans Bears game. Game fixed. Drop the ball in the end zone. Fixed. So he said, why didn't you answer my question? Why is there a point spread? Dude, I don't fucking know why there's a point spread. And I didn't want to engage you anymore last night, but my theory on it is why there's a point spread. They're trying to even out the game. So, for example, take the Eagles and the Giants. They might give the Eagles a 7-point favorite. So, if you bet on the Eagles, that means they have to win by 7 points. That kind of makes the game a little more even. So you can bet on the Giants, and even if the Eagles win by, say, only a field goal, the Giants won that bet. It makes it a little more a little more fun to bet, and it makes it a little more even. That doesn't mean that the game is fixed, dude. Uh, again, you're saying it's fixed because the referees made some calls that went the Chiefs' way. You know, you're not the only one. I saw people putting it up on Facebook where they said that, oh, they showed that the referees had red stripes, red and white stripes. So automatically they're in the Chiefs' pockets. Did it ever occur to you that the Chiefs are just a good fucking team? This is the same person who years ago I said, look, I suffered through the Giants for many years. They were a bad team in the 70s. How did they turn it around in the 80s? And you want to know what his answer to me at the time was? Oh, because the league considered the Giants a flagship team and they took pity on them and they gave them George Young as a general manager. Okay, so they gave him George Young, but he didn't just turn it around in one season. I mean, granted, 81, I think, was the first time they had made it to the playoffs since the fucking 60s, man. And they actually won a game in Philadelphia, so it was a miracle. So it gave the Giants something to cheer about. But you know what? They took two steps back before they moved forward. I think it was so the next year that was they were 4-5 in the strike shortened year. The year after that, they were 3-12-1. So it was, I think it was Parcells' first year as a head coach. And you know what? It got worse before it got better. So, and this was when they had George Young. So they laid the groundwork. They drafted Lawrence Taylor. They were building up that defense. They were getting some running backs. Uh, um, what's his name? Shit, that quarterback. Phil Simms hadn't hit his stride yet, and he was benched in favor of Scott Bruner at the time. So every year they got a little better. They went from 3-12-1 to 9-7 the year after, then to 10-6, and then it wasn't until '86 that they really turned it around, and they just ran roughshod over the NFL. They went 14-2, and they cruised through the playoffs and won a Super Bowl against the Broncos, and they came all the way back. But you know what? It took a long time for them to get there. So for you to say that the NFL fixed it, dude, I'm sorry, but you're a fucking moron if you think that. You're just crying sour grapes because the Jets haven't won in a long time. The last time they won, even have been to the Super Bowl, was '69. Uh, Granted, Hess, he finally did a good move. He got rid of that windbag, that Jeff Kotite, and brought in Bill Parcells. And what did he do? In 2 years, he turned the Jets around, brought them to an AFC conference championship. So you know what? Any team can win with the right leadership, with the right people, with acquiring the right talent, knowing the right buttons to push. You know, uh, and Parcells was a very simple guy. He did it with defense, and he did it with a running game and ball control. He did it with the Giants. He did it with the Jets. He did it with the Patriots. Uh, you know what? You can't say that. So let's revisit the question. So, oh geez, oh my God, he just sent me more bullshit. Barkley drops pass, but WWE light is not controlled. Uh, you're a moron, dude. LMFAO. I'm LMFAOing at you, man. Instead of first down, game over. But you're right. LOL. Have a good night. So let me refresh. What's the final score? But they're still winning. 21-15. Barkley drops pass. What is him? If Barkley dropped the pass and you said that they lost because of it, that would mean that maybe it was fixed. But 55 seconds left in the game, according to ESPN.com. And and they're leading 21-15, and you're telling me that the game is fixed, dude. You keep the shit up. I don't know what I'm going to do. Either I'm going to unfriend you, or I'm going to keep this going because I think this is such great uh, cinema slash TV. Uh, and I hope you're watching again. You keep it up, I might have to reveal your name. So, everybody who's watching, what do you think? Uh, should I keep it up with this guy the rest of the season? Should I reveal his name? What should I do? You tell me. I'm having too much fun with this right now. Uh, in the meantime, knock on wood, pray that the Giants, beat the dog pound next week. I hope the Jets keep it going. So let's see who do the Jets and the Giants? Oh, Giants. The Jets have the Patriots Thursday night. Another Prime Amazon Prime video game, but I'll be home, so I'll be watching. Giants in Cleveland, 1 o'clock. So we'll see. And meet you 1 o'clock Sunday on the gridiron. Have a good one, folks. This is Jack Toledano speaking for All or Not According to Jack. If you like what I do, please subscribe. Uh, that includes even you, my friend who thinks that sports and football are fixed. Hit that subscribe button, damn it. Talk soon. Bye.